All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about that.
We left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know. So
Yo. It's the King's Court UFC 293 preview show. Welcome to the King's Court, people. It's your guy, Osogi.
Yes, it's your guy, Mardy.
We in the cut to preview what's going to happen on Sunday, September the 10th, down in Sydney, down under. Bit of land of the Barbie.
Ever post this?
Castlemaine 4X. I don't even know if that drink still exists anymore. But yeah, let's start straight away with the main event. We got our guy, Izzy, the style bender, Adesanya versus Sean Strickland, ranked number 5, middleweight title bout. Our guy Sean, who I was waving about him a few episodes ago about his entertainment value and how I'm finding him funny the more time I spend taking him in, being exposed to him. I think he's a funny dude. He's a character. Yes. Recently on the Joe Rogan show, talking about his life, his upbringing, just calls himself white trash and all sorts, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, Izzy effectively got him into Australia.
That's it. Izzy's daddy, before the fights even started, he's his minder, his keeper.
Forget Drake calling himself his manor in Canada, Toronto, the embassy. Izzy is the embassy for Sean Strickland when it comes to his entry into the land of down under.
It's poor. It's that whole thing is poor. I'm sorry. If you're at that level, and you need next man to come and do your admin for you, because all you know is America, all you know is Harley Davidson, all you know is beer, white trash,
Bruce Springsteen.
Exactly.
Born in the USA.
That's it. Come on. And then he has the audacity to be talking.
Oh, it's what Sean does best. He talks.
It's true.
But
it's true.
He's got to walk it like he talks it on Sunday. And I'm looking at the odds, and I never get American odds, but I've never seen the numbers so wide for a title fight. So we've got Izzy currently at -600.
Stop it.
Serious. -600. Sean Strickland +440. Wow. I might do a bit of quick maths while you fill the air, because I want to see if I put money on Sean Strickland, how much can I win?
I hope the odds are as good as they are in the States here in the UK, because you might just be buying money here, but you're buying money. But
crazy.
Let's just obviously take a second just to see that predictions wise have been up and down this year. I think I was the only one to predict Izzy was going to knock out Pereira. I think I was the only one to predict Sugar Sean O'Malley to knock out Aljamain Sterling in round number 2. So for all the listeners and fans out there, I would say stick with your boy Mardy, and you'll never go hungry again. Yeah? Scar, Lion King, you know what I'm talking about.
As a man of God and Christ, I don't condone gambling, so I will abstain from this discussion of gambling and who to stick with and picks, because yes, this is just fun, Mardy. So let's not try and influence people betting their mortgages on your picks now.
Hey, we do predictions. If everybody wants to do anything with those predictions, they should. I'm just saying, if you're going to do something about it, there's certain things you should not pick.
But yeah, so it's something along the lines of, so for every £1 that you put on Sean Strickland, you basically get 4 on top of your original £1 back if you were to do it.
Okay, for an actual one-on-one max, that is good odds. That is really good odds.
That is for a sport, like you said, for one-on-one, not a team sport, not one where there's so many other variables involved. It's just a one-on-one, mano versus mano, fisticuffs. That is unbelievable. I may just stick a little tenner Just if I gambled, sorry, apologies.
Has it been 2 minutes since you're already contradicting himself? You know.
If I gambled, I'd get my Monopoly money from my daughter's board game and then stick it in the pot.
She carries real cash,
That is
Indeed.
nuts. Yeah, I've never seen us like that for a title fight.
Well,
And
why
maybe
is that? Should we get into it? Why is that? Hey, why is that?
I mean, it's the champ, obviously, Izzy versus number 5. I think Sean Strickland is probably up there with one of the most unlikeliest fighters to get a title shot. I would say if he were to do it, I don't care. We're going shock. We're going as shock as Sarah beating GSP.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's that level. It's that 100%. Level of shock. It would forget shock the world. It would the world would implode if Sean Strickland were to get wrapped with the belt after fighting Israel Adesanya in Sydney.
Imagine.
But we are here to debate, and I watched obviously the first episode of UFC Embedded. I think only the one's out. I don't think I've seen a second one come out yet, so hopefully that'll be tonight before bedtime. And I'm not gonna lie, Sean Strickland was getting a lot of loves in the streets.
Yeah, I've not seen it. I've only seen the countdown. But
people were giving him lots of pats on the back, saying knock him out. And I don't think they're just saying it because otherwise, they'll just say, "Oh, can I get a picture with you?" But they were Aussies, and that's the thing. I think Izzy, at the end of the day, it's not Izzy's hometown. Izzy's from New Zealand, and I think people, if you understand that the social economics between those two, just because they're in the same part of the world doesn't necessarily mean they're backing each other. Let's look at let's look at the cricket. Let's look at the rugby. Let's look at their sports. They are very tribal, tribal. And just because Izzy's headlining in Sydney doesn't necessarily mean he's going to have the whole arena cheering for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if Sean Strickland potentially has more fans than Izzy does in the arena on the night.
Do you know what? As much as normally I don't, I actually agree with you. I agree with you there. It is facts. And we can't forget the history, obviously, with Izzy and the Aussie fans. The 2 fights that he had with Whittaker.
And the things that were said where he was saying Whittaker sold out and Whittaker isn't even a true Aussie and all the rest of that. He went here again. You know how he likes to ruffle feathers.
That's it. He was not liked. Izzy was not liked in Australia. And I don't still think he is. That's very true.
I don't think he is.
And I don't even think that's just in Australia. I think that's worldwide. There's still a lot of haters. There's still a lot of haters out there that still don't like Izzy. But yeah, I think you're right in terms of him and being in Australia, being in Sydney. And he obviously knocked out their boy. They're not going to be happy with that. They beat the boy the second time. Yeah.
I just wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, I just people stopping. It was like, oh my gosh, that's Sean Strickland. He was just walking around normal. He's with his I don't know if it's fiance, but he's with his other half, his girlfriend, and they're just walking around. Small team, not a massive entourage, not making it obvious, and he's just literally walking around, walking to the park, walking to the sites, and he got stopped 4 or 5 times by obviously fight bans, and they were like shocked to see him because he's dressed again, not in designer gear, just grey hoodie, jeans, t-shirt, just walking around, not looking like anything special, getting stopped. Oh my God. And you could see people literally gasping, oh my gosh, that's Sean Strickland. Shocked to see him, and then going back on themselves to get the picture with him. And the message from all the fans was, knock him out, finish him off. Yeah, we're going to be cheering for you. It was all that sentiment.
These guys, these fans, but hey, fair play. They can support who they want to support, really. And Sean, as you say, I think Sean actually is a likable character.
Like I said, I'm shocked that I'm engaging with him in terms of personality wise, because I always just thought he was brash and he was just a gob ice. I just thought he was just a talker, trying to do this WWE malarkey, what APL likes to see, this fake personality, this Colby, this bad guy, just to get the views and stuff. But literally, he is what he calls himself. He is just You know, no frills, no packaging. When you go to Tesco and you're looking for those nice biscuits, you can go nice, you can go premium. He's just Tesco value. You know, does what it says on does what it says on the tin, like one seal. He's just one seal. You don't need to go flashy. And that's where I'm leaning into him a little bit more, because Izzy's completely the opposite of everything he is.
Yes.
Completely. And we
Fully.
could go deep here, and I might upset Izzy and fans, or I could go filtered and not. So I'm gonna leave it up to you. What do you think? Do I
Go
go
deep.
deep?
Go deep, because
Okay.
I don't even know what you're talking about here.
Okay. So I'm not
See
too
the poster in the back,
controversial.
yeah.
Not too controversial, but Sean has said some things where I'm like, do you know what? He hasn't. I kind of agree with a lot of just like little mini attacks he's done on Izzy. Izzy, i.e., Izzy, you're not Chinese. Like, I am Chinese. No, you're not, bruv. You're obviously not Chinese. And Sean Strickland now, you know how Trump has got Trump's going through some, I won't get too much into the politics, but he's been indicted. What do they call it?
Yeah,
Indicted or whatever,
indicted. Yeah,
yeah,
you're
in the
right.
States on, and apparently he's got like his mugshot is now like on merchandise. So Sean Strickland's got, how I am Chinese and like, all this identification movement. I am gay, I am pansexual, I am transsexual. He's got a t-shirt which is branded I am Sean Strickland. That's selling, bruv. It's selling. It's selling. I want one. I want
Nah,
I
nah.
think Sean Strickland's turning me, bro. I like what he's about, because he's just like, I'm just a man. And then he said it, but he said this stuff to Izzy's face before, and I'm like, it's the stuff that I'm like, do you know what? To put like, let's get all this political correctness out of the way, and let me just speak
Yeah.
straight. All this fruitiness, he's called it out. So Izzy's got the French tips. Nah, man. What man has French tips? I have to agree with him there. Not really, not what I'm about. I don't have any friends in my circle with French tips. I don't know what you do with your toes when I'm not looking. But as far as I can see from your hands,
Don't make
you
me
know.
get my piggies out here.
Then, as far as I'm aware, no one in my circle has French tips. Cool, trendsetter or not, I don't know, but I think men should be men, women should be women, and I guess there's this little grey area in the middle where that is all becoming a bit blurred. I think Izzy's starting to fall into that blurred area a little bit, because you've got the French tips, you've got the pearls, which a lot of men are walking, and I would say yes, Izzy was the first, but again, traditionally, pearls were women's jewelry. That was like, a bit, pearls were feminine, like, so it's the little things like that where Sean Strickland is, for me, when I go back and watch some of his interviews and he's calling him out like, what man? I love his voice as well. What man wears French tips? Like, a real man doesn't wear pearls around his neck. Like, I'm like, yeah, do you know what? Like, if you're going down that old school traditional testosterone field, what a real man looks like, then it's not necessarily Israel Adesanya. Not to say Izzy Adesanya, just because of that, he can't kick another man's butt. We've seen that. We've seen what he's done to Poltan. We're potentially going to see what he's going to go to Sean Strickland. But it's almost like there's a little percentage in my head that's like, and it sound again, I'm going to sound a little bit, what's he talking about? Kind of maybe 10% of my head, his brain is triggered towards Sean's messaging, where I was like, no, it'll be nice for like the real man to win. to kind of kick his butt and be like, yeah, this is what a real man does. Real man points. Like, testosterone is back in the game. It's good to be masculine.
Nah,
I'm putting it out there. I wouldn't be
you've gone
surprised if
down
there's.
it.
I wouldn't be surprised if some people are a little bit triggered by that and actually thinking, do you know what? As much as I like Izzy, I'm not fully down with what he represents in terms of his style and stuff. And I actually maybe I want Sean Strickland to beat him. Again, I'm just like I said, I'm just coming up with an angle. just coming up with an angle, and maybe
You're looking to trigger me. That's what you're looking to do.
maybe because people are being so politically correct these days, maybe Izzy is part of his oh my gosh, I'm knackered tonight. Divisiveness is that, but people don't want to say it.
You're triggering me tonight. You're
There you go.
triggering me.
There you go. I'm putting it out there. So people, it's a bit like, again, it's not really controversial, but like a lot of British people, for example, white British, just going to put it right out there. I'm getting rid of all this political correctness. For years, I've known, like, I was into F1 until what happened to Lewis Hamilton a few years. I haven't watched a single race till then, till that scam. It could only happen to a black man, to put it bluntly. Yeah, if everyone would say, "Oh, you're crying because of race," blah blah. Yeah, what? No, look, understand the rules of F1. You'll not understand what happened.
That's good.
A lot of people up to that, British, and Lewis Hamilton, if anything, he embraces being British, the flag. He's a Sir Lewis Hamilton. Put some respect on his name. When you speak to them about F1 and the fact that he's, he was one championship away from being the official GOAT, from surpassing Schumacher in terms of championships, and you say, "Oh, do you like Lewis Hamilton?" A lot of them go, "No, I don't like him." And then you ask them why, and they're like, "I don't know. There's something about him. Let's be honest. There's something about him. He's not the same complexion as them."
It's true. It's true. I know man personally like that as well. And I proposed the question, and they're like, they can't give me straight answers.
And they can never give a
he's
straight
too arrogant. He's too this arrogant. F1 drivers, point blank. Most of them, 95% of them, are arrogant. It's their personas and whatnot. Like, yeah.
But I'm just putting it out there because I want us to be straight talking and make this an episode where it's not like, it's just Izzy's going to steamroll Sean Strickland. But there is a fan base out there where they might be conflicted about Israel, more so than I, because I'm only giving Sean Strickland 10% of that confliction, where they might be like, "I don't understand why I don't like Izzy, I just don't." That could be a reason, not the color of his skin. It could be the fact that in this day and age, he's not the man's man. He's not testosterone filled. He's not like masculine. He's got French tips and he wears pearls and he does what he wants. And he likes anime, which Sean Strickland isn't a big fan of. He's like, "What grown man watches anime and watches cartoons? Do you do you get horny to cartoons?"
Yeah. See, this is the thing. This is where, see, you're laughing now, but like, really and truly, does everybody back 100% of what Sean Strickland says? Probably not. Well, I'll ask you the question: do you back 100% of what Sean Strickland says?
In what sense, though? Like, what examples?
Even just in the Izzy examples, just in everything that he's pointed out in Izzy, are you agreeing with his?
He hasn't. To me, he hasn't told any lies. He's pointing out observations.
Fair dues.
He's pointing out observations.
Let me hit the rebuttal.
So away, like I said, away from the political correctness, if people just didn't speak with a filter, I think a lot of men in particular would be like, Sean Strickland has told no lies there at all. Like, in this day and age, it would be deemed a little bit confusing, for example, if you had children. And okay, classic example. I have daughters, world out there if you don't know. My oldest daughter is now into what mummy does, so like makeup, doing her nails, copying. So in the house, she'll have some on. When we go out, we're like, "No, we're taking it off. You're too young." If, for example, mummy was doing her nails and daddy joined in, do you know how confused she would be? And she's like, I always say it as a joke, it's like, "Oh, daddy's gonna do his nails, and next time you do your nails." Already at the age of 6, she's like, "No, daddies don't do that. This is for me and mummy. Mummies do nails. Daddies don't do nails." Ooh, we haven't conditioned in that in her. She just has come to that conclusion herself as a 6-year-old that doing your nails is what mummy does, and I don't know, going to the gym and having blisters in your hand is what daddy does. So she's already identified, masculine femininity at the age of 6. I'm not against that, because that's how we're bringing up our daughter in more traditional values, as opposed to this fluid agenda which is currently flowing through the world. I would say if you looked at their appearances and what they're about and so on, you would say that Izzy's going down the more mainstream, worldly, fluid route, where Sean Strickland's actually going with the more conservative, you know, let's almost, you know, if you wanted to bring Bible into it, you know, Bible route of kind of like, no, this is what a man's job is. This, and that to me is what I hear when he's talking. Like, he's against all that noise in the world. He's unapologetically being himself, which so many people are not, which is completely different to the likes of the trolls of Colby Covington, who's just a character. The more, and like I said, when you watch the Sean Strickland interview, for example, with Joe Rogan, that's again not very insightful. It's 3 hours. You're like, whoa, okay, I can't. You kind of get a little bit more understanding of where this guy comes from. He comes from a completely, yeah, he calls it, I'm white trash. I come from a broken home. I was abused, but literally on my dad's deathbed, he apologized for everything. But then the last thing his dad said to him, at least I didn't try to stick my inside you. So I abused you, I beat you, but I never sexually touched you. And Sean Strickland was even like, yeah, well, that happened to all my other friends, so at least that didn't happen to me. So it's just like, geez.
It's true, but even like, don't you see like anything? Even you just painted the picture yourself of his upbringing and stuff like that. I don't you think there's so many things that have been wrong with that upbringing? There's so many things that a child.
You can't help your upbringing though.
No, you can't. But obviously, you're also a product of your environment.
You are to a degree, but he also says like he shouldn't be in the UFC. If he was a product of his environment, he'd be in prison or dead. So he's actually already winning in life to be where he is.
That's true because there's a lot of things in life that help change people, like
and what
religion helps change people,
exactly,
like martial arts, sports
exactly,
change
and
people.
that's what saved his life. Effectively, he puts the savior of his life is the first time he went into a gym and got his ass beat because he had such anger issues that he suddenly realized that was the vent. So he was angry at the world, he was angry at his dad, he was angry at his mom, he was angry at everything, everyone, and everything around him. The gym is where he managed to center all of that, which meant, you know, it was enough of a distraction to keep him away from the streets, to keep him away from just fighting random people in the street. Because he said he just walked around just feeling angry all the time, and he didn't know why until he went into a gym.
Yeah, fair dues. Okay, so here's the rebuttal. I think it's going down a dangerous game, and it is touching on like political correctness and whatnot and all of that. But I'm going to put that to one side at the moment in time. We're talking about extremes. Sean is the complete other extreme. So when we talk about traditional, even his views traditionally is quite extreme. When we're talking about, we'll go through it one by one in terms of, is he watching anime? I'm completely by watching. I'm just completely putting that out the window because actually anime is not actually made for kids. If you look at 80% of the anime,
yeah,
anime out there, there's blood, there's guts. You won't let your kids watch that sort of stuff. Yeah. So, and I love a bit of anime as well. So, anyway, so I'm knocking that one down. In terms of the pearl stuff, yeah, traditionally pearls are a feminine jewelry. I don't think Izzy was the first person to wear pearls. I think there's going on and again, it's a trend of nowadays of men wearing pearls. It's something that Izzy chooses to express. Fair dues. I agree with him in terms of if he wants to look at that to the traditional man. Fair dues. In terms of the nails, French tips may be a bit extreme for Izzy, but actually and truly, if you look at men nowadays, and when I'm talking about men, a lot of men do actually get manicures, pedicures.
Facts.
I think,
but you defined it for not French tips. Yes, because so even some of my boys were like, yeah, it's clear. You'll never be able to. It's like to clean the cuticles. Maybe you get the clear varnish. You get them done. You get them cleaned up. But French tips is extreme.
And I think I'm sure even Ngannou was. I think we saw an embedded or something when Ngannou or these heavyweights were actually going to get their nails on and stuff like that. In terms of if we look at different scenes, even going back 20 years, look at different scenes. If you look at like the goth scene, the emo scene, those man be wearing black nail varnish and all that. But fair dues, yeah, that is more towards the feminine side. Fair enough, like that. But then I think in terms of what Sean Strickland represents and what his ideology of the real man is, going back traditionally not everything of those is agreeable and actually should be, even not agreeing with a lot of the extreme other end of where we are now in society. But in terms of Sean Strickland, will be a guy that men don't talk, which is complete utter rubbish. He'll
What do you
be
mean about emotions and stuff?
about emotions and stuff like that. That's the type of
yeah.
origin that he's going to be preaching from and coming
But
from,
he contradicts that. Like I said, if you watch interviews like where he's with Joe Rogan and stuff, you're like, men don't talk. Well, yeah, you technically you've just had a therapy session on Joe Rogan's show.
Yeah, that's true. And even in the countdown, like Sean's not going to be just coming out and saying this stuff about his upbringing and whatnot. He's obviously behind the scenes. They've been probing, asking him questions to talk, because he doesn't talk like that normally. But I think normally, if he wasn't put in those positions, that man won't talk at all. So that's the only reason why I'm a bit like, okay, maybe let's not take about Sean Strickland's an ideology of what man is, because or what a man should be.
I'm not saying Sean Strickland's perfect, far from it. I'm just saying there's little things I'm like, do you know what? I'm just again trying to create a division on purpose.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the more I think about it, and I use the Lewis Hamilton analogy as well, it's like maybe this is the reason why some people don't like Israel Adesanya, but can't say why. Why not?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I agree with you on that. I agree with you in that respect, because
think about it, someone's doing that and then still kicking butt. Imagine how burning that is for people who
it's going to trigger
like,
people.
What the heck? He just battered that guy, this Brazilian warrior, and he had French tips, and he's wearing a doggy leash going into the
That was sick though. That doggy leash was sick. Unleash the beast. Talk to me. Yeah, but that's the thing, and that's what's going to make Sean Strickland even riled up so much. And I think actually I think he even knows that, and I think he's actually come to accept that, because in some of the things before even the fight got announced, he was talking about, oh, you can be the best kickboxer in the world sort of thing, but I'll teach you how to be a real man sort of thing. So Sean's still, win, lose or draw, Sean's still gonna hold on to that, which is fine, because I'm glad that he has that, because he's gonna get taught a lesson for all of the crap that he's been spouting. He really is. And if we're going into like the fight details of it, I saw the Dan Hardy breakdown on Full Reptile of the main event, and Dan Hardy, he talks a lot of sense, Dan Hardy. And sometimes most times he tries to be quite even in terms of the information he brings and his thoughts on things. If you watch that, my word, I've never seen Dan Hardy so not disrespectful, but so one-sided. He talked about how Izzy's like the antithesis of mixed martial arts, and how Sean Strickland is the complete opposite of that. He's got his Bas Rutten sort of like just schoolboy backyard fight style, and he's basically the extreme of any actual martial arts. There's no training plan that he follows training plan, but he doesn't seem to be a guy that wants to go to the gym and actually learn. He just wants to be a go to spar and maybe learn techniques just through sparring, but he's not there asking people, teach him this, teach him that. He's just and there's nothing wrong with that, he was saying, but he was saying in terms of like a mixed martial arts fight, Sean Strickland is actually probably not a mixed martial artist, even though that's what he's learned. That's what his style has been throughout. And I agree, and I had those thoughts before. I'm saying, actually, really, truly, when you look at Sean Strickland's style, it's just come forward, your hands aren't even up properly, and you go in and you kickboxing. He's got great wrestling, but he doesn't use that because he just likes to fight and likes to brawl. Where I just think that he needs to be, and his coaches, if they can get in, like speak into his head, which if you look at some of the fights, he doesn't even listen to them mid-round. He does not even listen to them. He's like, hey, Sean, like concentrate. He doesn't. If he does that, then when we talk about styles make fights, then this is going to be an absolute great fight, because he's going to get KO'd. He's going to absolutely KO'd. And I was annoyed about his fight with Pereira, because for me, he could have potentially beaten Pereira. Not Pereira 2.0 that we see now, that's been able to block takedown from Jan Blachowicz, but 2 years ago, a year ago, whatever it was, use your wrestling. Why do you want to stand and use your ego against one of the best kickboxers to ever lived.
No,
And I
agree.
think if that guy comes to the ring in Sydney on the weekend, similar result.
I agree fully with your points, but look, you can't get any higher stakes than this. And Eric Nixon, his coach, is Mr. Game Plan. And if he's taking this seriously, Sean Strickland, and I want to say he is, because he's had to travel all the way to Australia, which is like for him probably the furthest he's traveled in his life, and he probably had to get a passport just for it, because I think the stat is 90% of Americans don't have a passport. It's such a vast country. If you want sun, you use your driver's license, you go to Miami. If you want snow, you use your driver's license, you go to Vermont, Aspen. If you want whatever climate, if you want to go to Mexico, you just drive across to the border with your driver's license. You don't need a passport. You've got 4 time zones in one continent, and you've got at any time you've got any weather that you want. So I get that. We're a little island and we laugh and we're like, ha ha ha. But we need to get away. We need to leave an island, which means we need a passport. America's so vast that I get why 90% of Americans don't have a passport.
Yeah,
and I'm not surprised that Sean Strickland had to probably apply for one and get Daddy Izzy to co-sign him and say, give him the doctor's note as to why he was allowed to leave the US. So I get that. But I think, yes, I think there'll be a game plan. I think he has to be completely open to it. I've seen clips of him wrestling heavy in training, both sides defending and taking people down. The way he spars is absolutely psychotic. He knocks people out like they're fighting for real in sparring.
It's mad.
Oh my!
It's mad.
Goodness.
I'm not for that.
Like full on, like you said, street brawling, full on. No head guards, just going at it. That's nuts. Putting people away.
It's crazy, and you shouldn't spot. Well, okay, who am I to tell what them should and should not do, basically? Because I'm not a professional mixed martial artist, but I think Sean Strickland is. But really and truly, are you supposed to be knocking out your teammates in training? And this is the type of thing, like, is he a real training partner? I'm surprised Pereira even spars with him, because he seems like a guy that actually you don't want to be training with. Even Michael Basman says, "Oh yeah, it's great because he used to go in there, he used to fight, he used to scrap and stuff like that." And we even know Michael Basman. Sometimes Michael Basman can be drawn into maybe doing stuff that he probably shouldn't be doing. And it just seems like really and truly that's not the best. And even his mate, what's it, Chris Curtis, is it?
His best mate, yeah.
His best mate, Chris Curtis. For me, Chris, find another camp, because you're not. I'm telling you, you're not. Firstly, you're not learning anything from Sean Strickland. Secondly, he's probably just going to be knocking you out or trying to knock you out all the time. It's crazy. It's crazy for me.
Yeah, but you're forgetting the saying: iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, but I'm sure stone dulls stone as well, probably. Like,
I was trying to say it seriously. I couldn't even hold it.
There ain't no sharpness coming out of there. I'm sorry, like.
But,
come on.
Okay, what if he goes against everything you said, which is a fact up in Sean Strickland's career up to now? He doesn't listen to the corner. He can wrestle. He doesn't wrestle. What if there's a game plan? What if Eric Nixon has got in his head, like, look, this is it for you. This is the pinnacle. This is your time. This is your shot. Listen to me. This is the game plan. We're going to go in there and there'll be no kickboxing. You're just going to be going Kobe Covington wrestle heavy style, chain wrestling. What if he comes out and does that? Then what?
Then his chances increase from 4-1 to 3-1. But it still doesn't change their result. I'm sorry.
So you're not putting any respect on his wrestling game and the coaches he's got in the coach that made Ngannou a wrestler effectively and defend every single takedown that he needed to do when nobody saw that.
No, it wasn't just Eric Nixon, but yeah, it was the whole team. But yeah, I'm saying that. I'm saying the coach is his biggest asset, and you've pointed that out. That's correct. His biggest asset. When I look at Sean Strickland and his not persona but his attributes, I don't think there's not been anything in his arsenal that Izzy has not faced before in a better way. attack there, man. Striking. Izzy's faced fiercest striking opponents. What's his name? Costa. Pereira. He's faced those wrestlers. He's faced better wrestlers. Whitaker. I think even Cannonier has better wrestling. Vittori has better wrestling, and he managed to stay up. Jiu-jitsu. We don't know. He ain't do no jiu-jitsu. Izzy's jiu-jitsu is probably better than Sean Strickland's jiu-jitsu. Like, so there's nothing pressing forward as well. Vittori presses forward. Costa presses forward. Pereira crosses forward. There's nothing specifically on his arsenal that Izzy has not seen before. So for me, he's just a B-rate collection of all of the opponents that Izzy is for. I'm sorry, like, yeah, he is. He is. And you know what?
Zero respect on his name.
Yeah, but he's got a good game, and I like the WWE. I like that sort of chat. But that's the only thing that I think he's gonna bring to this main event. He's gonna bring eyes. He's gonna bring numbers, but he's also gonna bring the ambulance along with him as well, because
someone please go 911.
Legit.
Oh,
and his record, the thing is, his record's not even been good.
It's not bad. 27-5.
Yeah, but in the recent years, he's coming off a 2-fight win streak, fair dues, but against guys that he's taken last minute, fair dues. But like, you know, Imamov, come on, really, truly. When we talk about the elites, he's not. Magomed, he's not the elite. He lost to Cannonier, he lost to Pereira. Before then, okay, he went on a streak, and like, but really and truly, who is he beat? Jack Manson is probably the best person he beat. Uriah Hall Uriah Hall can't shoot, you know? He doesn't like to hit, and he's gone retired now. Like, he's not at that level. And he doesn't like facing Nigerians either, you know, because even weight below, Usman just wrestled him and beat him. Come on, man.
You're on fire.
Not today, brother Sean. Not today. Yeah?
Oh, Sean, you just got buried.
And the thing is, you love it. You know it as well. You could say exactly the same, probably but worse.
Look, I came here because I hate it when we're all agreed, and the viewers don't want to hear that. Oh, look, here we go. What's the point? What's the point of listening? So I've tried to come here with an angle. You know what I'm like, you know, angel's advocate. Mm-hmm. Everything you've just said about he shouldn't be fighting for a belt.
He shouldn't. What belt should he be fighting for? Go back to the jiu-jitsu gym and fight for your blue belt. Like, come on, lad. Like,
but it's happening because Drickus basically feigned an injury or whatever. So
yeah. Oh, he dropped the ball in that.
It is where that's where we're at. So unfortunately, we've got this. You know, you've got to give anyone who's in the ring at this level a puncher's chance. If Izzy doesn't take him serious, you know, anything could happen. We're constantly shocked. This is, like, for me, the greatest sport in the world, because the shocks are wild. You know, we didn't see Shevchenko losing. You know, that was wild. We didn't see Izzy getting KO'd in that first fight against Poltan the way he did. You know. We didn't see Sybil Gone melting and getting folded like a chair that quickly against John Jones. You know, it's just
true.
You know, Sugar, what he did, it's just nuts. The sport is nuts. So
yeah,
I'm holding out for an absolute. You know, I like I said, I genuinely feel something could happen. I'm not saying it will happen, because I don't think, because of that split, like, behind Izzy, I don't see, like, the island of New Zealand traveling to Sydney for this. I don't think he has a fan base like that from New Zealand. I think he's got a global fan base, but I don't think New Zealand's gonna, we're gonna jump on a plane, on a boat or whatever and go to Sydney to back our boy. I don't see it. So I see the arena being very split, and potentially in Sean's favour, which could give Sean that extra 5 or 10% or whatever he needs to gas up his already inflated ego.
True. Very true.
And feel like, yo, this is my night. I'm going to shock the world. These are my people. You know, I am Sean Strickland. I don't know if I read or heard somewhere, but Izzy was talking, I think this week, about potentially he's talking about getting his first submission. He's talking about submitting Sean Strickland. What are your
Even that's
thoughts on
disrespect in itself.
what are your thoughts on that?
That's even disrespect. Everything that I've said, that tops it. Izzy, this kickboxer, Izzy that's teased. He's always been teasing about his ground game. Really and truly, like the level of his ground game isn't up to the level of other people's, but we've not been seeing it. He's like, he's not taking it lightly, but he's disrespecting Sean so much. He's like, maybe I'll try one of these, these Dars chokes, these omoplatas that I've been learning in the gym. He's just saying that's probably how I'm gonna take you out. Like, nah, that's disrespect. And if he does, then I think it's gonna be an interesting fight. Because that's what will make it, I think, more even. Otherwise, Izzy just going to pick him up. I want to see some grappling in this. It's probably one of the first times I'm going to say this, but I want to see some grappling. I want to see some ground game. I want to see some attempts, but I also want to see somebody get KO'd cold.
But if Izzy's going down that angle, is he essentially treating this like a training day ahead of Dricus?
It's true. It's true.
Let's be honest. Like, why else would you do that? And we always talk about the contenders thinking ahead. Is Izzy now starting to do the same?
Maybe, even though he says he's taking it seriously. But yeah, you might pose a good thought there. That because Dricus, when we compare about Dricus, maybe Dricus's wrestling is actually better than some of the people's that Izzy have come up before. So when it does get to those times, Izzy probably does need to rely on some of his ground game that we've not seen before. And if he gets like a sub on Sean, then we can see there's evidence that he can do it. So yeah, you're right. You might be right.
Do we know if Dricus is going to be in attendance?
Not heard that. I heard Cannonier was apparently weighing in as a backup fighter.
This card's getting worse. Are you serious? Oh my goodness.
Nah.
No, we don't want to see that again.
We don't.
Not
But again, that's
all.
what Dricus has probably done, because Dricus not taking this fight. I don't think Dricus walks into a title fight straight after this. He might need to face a Cannonier, and it's a dangerous fight for him. But yeah. Anyway, what are you thinking? Go on, tell me what you're thinking deep down. You've asked me questions. I want to ask you some questions. What's happening? What's happening Saturday night on this fight?
Saturday night. It's gonna be like, Izzy's the hot knife. Sean Strickland's not even the Lurpak, the Norpak, the fake version. I'll do a little. Let's get it sliced up. It's gonna be light work. I mean, I don't really. Izzy shouldn't play with his food. He's got the reach. He's got the kickboxing. If Sean Strickland doesn't listen, it's gonna be over. I would say a round and a half. If he doesn't listen, to his corner, then if he listens to his corner and comes up with a game plan, it might extend it to 3 rounds potentially, which would make it interesting, make it worth staying up for. But I genuinely see if it got to two, like round 3, and it's stand up, I'd be shocked. I'd be like, what's going on? Like, that means Izzy's really playing around with his food. I'm like, why would you want to take that risk and even give this guy a chance? Because like you said, all he does is come forward. He is a bit of a zombie sometimes. It's good, yeah. It shouldn't be interesting. There shouldn't be a shock. We love this sport as much as I've bigged it up and stuff. It should be very, very straightforward. It could potentially be the most, on paper, and the odds back it up, the most one-sided title defense ever. Which makes me sad because I like drama. I'm getting used to drama, and the UFC keeps bringing us drama. So yeah, Sean Strickland, unlucky. You're only going to get to use your passport once potentially, and then you might as well just throw that bad boy away.
Send him back to Vegas, man. That's where he belongs.
But
yeah, so
I planted the seed of doubt. I planted that seed of doubt for anybody who needs one.
Nobody needs that seed of doubt. Anybody watching this and you've not fast forwarded it the first 20 minutes, I'm sorry. But good on you. Good on you. Click like and subscribe while you're at it. But yeah, I think do you know what? I'm gonna go a bit more excited. I'm gonna go around 3 KO from Izzy. Just because of the tank he's got, Sean Strickland. The tank. And maybe Izzy doesn't have, well, he's got the timing, but the same power that Pereira has, Izzy doesn't have that. He's got power, but he's got precision timing. But I'm going round 3 KO, yeah.
Fair dues. No doubt APO the same. So, you know, that's not really going to be a, you know, so I would say, yeah, there's no chance I'm picking Sean Strickland. But if it happens, I'm just saying, I'm going to advertently say, I kind of told you so. I just didn't want to commit.
No, because I did a little bit of that with the Aljo Sean one, but nah. Even though the only thing you posed is his views on Izzy not being a traditional man. That's the only seeds of doubt.
But yo, that's our middleweight title bout. Main event. We'll cover the co-main. We got Ty Bam Bam Tuivasa. He's back. When was his last fight? Was that against Silvergon?
No, he had one Pavlovich against him this year. And he got
gosh, so
KO'd.
he lost to Pavlovich. Oh, that was quick. Round 1, 54
Yeah.
seconds. Oh, jeez.
He's not had a good time recently.
Yeah, and then before that was Silvergon, and his last win was against Derek Lewis, February the 30th, 2022.
That was a good one.
That was a good one, actually. Yeah, so that slide. I mean, Bam Bam you remember his momentum. We thought, oh, he could be one to watch. He could be, but then you know, everybody finds their level eventually. But yeah, he's got is it Volkov? Yep,
Volkov.
So
yeah,
number 6 tied Bam Bam versus Alexander Volkov, who's ranked number 7. The odds are in Volkov's favor slightly, minus 198 versus plus 164. Ty Bam Bam, obviously the hometown guy, actually from Australia.
From the area.
From the area, as he always reminds us. Big up the area. I don't know where that is, but it's all about the area. In terms of Volkov, he's beat Rosenstrike with a KO and Romanov also with a KO. Romanov he beat March the 11th. Was that in London then?
Oh, it might have been actually. Oh no! There was one just before.
Oh
London.
yeah, mate, it was a crazy month, innit? Yeah, they had 3 in a row in it in March. Yeah, it might have been one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's obviously got the momentum where Bam Bam doesn't. That's a lot. That is a lot. Ooh,
True.
Do you know what?
It'd be an interesting one. Because Volkov, I think before those 2 fights, I think he got knocked out by Aspinall in London last year. But I think he's similar Volkov in terms of when it gets to like the higher echelon of the competition, maybe we just see with his real level. And I think actually these two 6 and 7 are probably
where they should be.
Yeah, really and truly. I do think Ty, and people have slept on Ty, but Ty's lethal. I do think with the home advantage, the power that he has, I think Ty can make it a dogfight. He made that Cyril Garn fight into a dogfight, and Cyril didn't want that.
He floored Cyril. He floored Cyril with his power. Everyone forgets that. It wasn't just Cyril going straight. You know, exactly. I do remember like his power coming through to play and Cyril going down.
Exactly. I remember that. I remember shouting. All the French fans were just like around. I was like, but yeah, he's got power. I've not seen too much of Volkov's fights, only the fights that he's faced with tougher opponents like Aspinall, like Derek Lewis, I think he's fought. I'm going with my boy from the area here, home crowd. He needs this win. He needs a win, otherwise he's dropping down. I want him to be in that title contention with the new challengers, the likes of Tom Aspinall, with the likes of I think Joel Almeida, I think it is Joelton Almeida. He's coming up heavyweight. Yeah, I'm taking Ty for this one.
Yeah, I like Ty. I think we really should, biggest bet around Ty should be what his entrance music will be, because he always shows up with something very cheesy, poppy, but absolute vibes. I think one of my favorites was when he had Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Oh, that was one of my favorites.
Tyson Pedro.
Big up Spice Girls. I think he's had Spice Girls. I think he's had Barbie Girl. Go on,
That's it.
Barbie. Oh, absolute vibe. So I'm looking forward to see what he has he done Venga Boys yet? I think if he hasn't done Venga Boys, I'd like to see a bit of Venga Boys, you know. Could be a vibe. But I'm going with Volkov, mate. I think Volkov, I think he's got, when you look at the statistics, he's got the momentum as well. He's had, you know, even experience, you know. I know we said don't sleep on Ty, but Ty's only got 15 fights, 15 wins, 5 defeats. Volkov, mate, 36 wins, 10 defeats. He's got 46 fights in total versus the 20 in total that Ty has. So that experience is going to go a long way, hopefully. He's been in Australia for I think the last 2 weeks, so he's acclimatized nicely, hopefully. 6'7" versus 6'2". Arm reach 80 versus 75, leg reach 47 versus 39. So it's like all the levers. You know, it's one of those ones where to keep it long, whether that's with the grappling or you know on the feet. I think I think Bam Bam's kind of hit that. This is the ceiling. This is the level. I don't think. Oh, this spider just got me.
I just saw that. I saw that. Yes.
See that MMA?
I tell you, I hope Tuivasa's reactions are quicker than that. I tell you, he's in for a long night.
Getting attacked. Trying it on me, flipping heck. Yeah, I got Volkov. I think it might be a very light works night for him. I think it might be a sleep Bam Bam.
Dude,
but
okay.
Really like
that one.
Really like Bam Bam though. But yeah, let's see what if he picks Wenger Boys, and I'm like, damn, I should have gone for him.
Predictions for Tai Tuivasa's entrance song. Let's hear it down in the comments, people. What's he gonna go up to?
I'm back in Wenger Boys. Let's go. Cool. Do you want to do honorable mentions on the remainder of the card? Which overall, I'm not gonna lie, I don't rate. But you know what? If it proves me wrong, it proves me wrong. But it's not exciting me. Even the main event, I'm like, let's be honest, Sean Strickland shouldn't be fighting for a title, but it is what it is.
Izzy gets us excited. Pause. But anyway, let's yeah, I think you know, you weren't too pleased with the card. I think the card's a really good card. It's the Australian New Zealand showcase, Team CKB. I think they're like tied for the amount of fighters that they've got promoted on one UFC card, which is great. Go down list. Justin Taffer, obviously he's not CKB, but he's fighting out of New Zealand. Tyson Pedro, one of his teammates, fighting out of Australia there. Under here, Laura Stanko is going to be a color commentator there as well. We all know Laura loves a bit of Pedro there. So
what more than Raz? What's her hubby's name that she's always getting teased about?
Yeah,
more than the welterweight. No,
Shavkat.
Yeah, no, not more than Shavkat. Nah,
yeah,
she loves
a bit more than Shavkat. I mean, she's not let on, but there was an interview that she did with I think Ty in terms of like somebody's number. And she's like, oh well, you know, you can introduce me to Tyson Pedro. He was like, oh okay. But yeah, we love Laura Sankson. Great to see her on the actual commentating.
Yeah, she's
Carlos
awesome.
Ulberg. Indeed, Carlos Ulberg, CKB boy there. I think as well, obviously Blood Diamond, Mike Diamond, he needs a win. I think he's 0-2 in the UFC so far. There's only so much the CKB you know, tail strings can carry you, really. Shane Young there, he's come fighting out of CKB as well, good guy. And then making his debut in the UFC, if you watched any of the Stylebenders like previews, Kevin Jousset, I think he's French born, moved over to New Zealand. CKB boy, he is also making his debut. So I think this is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a good time for us as well, being here in the UK. Oh no, it's not.
I thought that, but they've no 3 a.m. 3 a.m. main card starts. I got excited. I thought that as well. I checked just before we jumped online, and I was like, yes, it's going to be like we're going to watch it like in the morning. I thought like no, they've messed up the timing to so it's normal for us and effectively normal for the States as well. Like the States get to watch it in the middle of the afternoon, and we get to watch it in the middle of the night.
Come on, Dana, give it a biggie.
I thought exactly the same. I thought, oh, we're gonna like get to watch it like at 11 in the morning on Sunday or something like that. Oh, nah.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, 293, baby.
293. There we go. That is the preview show. Looking forward to maybe a more hyped review show. Let's see what the night throws up at us. If there'll be any surprises, some competitive fights, some action. Although I need to call out one thing. Where the ladies at? Oh my goodness.
Where the ladies at?
Where my girls at? From the front to back. There's no ladies on the card at all.
Nah. Oh yeah. That's true.
I can't remember the last time I've seen that's not good. Let's be honest.
Too many man. Too many man. Too many man. Need some more girls in here. It's true.
No ladies at all.
I'll do some research. When's the last time actually the UFC had a numbered event without any women on? Yeah.
I'm not happy about that because I've seen a few ladies in the CKB gym. Are we saying none of them are ready? Like there's and they're not speaking, but they're always part of the spiders. They're always there. So I'm like, yeah. And obviously, everything doesn't just revolve around CKB, but you know, there's you've got China very close by as well. You could have tapped into that Asia market. Yeah, a bit disappointing. Bit disappointing there, UFC. I think somebody needs to have a word. But yeah, we've called it out. We're back in the ladies. Yeah, I think they've missed opportunity there for sure.
That's it.
But yeah, obviously we're on the Izzy train, despite all my previous comments. If you watch the whole show, Izzy, don't shoot me. I'm sure we'll meet one day and we'll be cool and besties.
I'm going to show him this clip.
yeah. And if not, at least Marty has your back, and he can get the scoop. But this has been your UFC 293 preview show. Looking forward to Sunday. If there's a shock though, wow, the review show is going to be interesting. Just saying.
Hey, no shocks, please, no shocks. But yeah,
I've been your guy Obasogi.
Yes, I've been your guy Marty as always.
Over and out. Peace.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about that.
Left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, so